So we'll now jump into the self-help junkie, okay? And this is the overachiever, the perfectionist, the person who just really becomes obsessed with self-help. It's like, oh my God, self-help, I can really optimize everything. Let's look up every book. Let's apply everything. You hear, it's like, be conscious. I must always be conscious. I must always be thinking self-help. I must always be improving. I must work harder. I must be smarter. I must be faster. I must be better. I must move ahead, become more successful, make more money. My worth as a person is worth my achievements. That's what determines my worth. I can't enjoy shit. It's like when I enjoy slack off, it's more. Okay, it's like the pinnacle of optimize a paradigm built on scarcity. It's like I must win constantly, and that shit will ruin you inside. If you right now are the self-help junkie, you must drop it. Okay, you must drop the paradigm. No more fucking self-help for you. And with this video here, the first one we'll crack into, I really want to illustrate the resistance that comes up. If you're someone who's into self-help and really into it, you're going to experience a lot of resistance to me saying drop self-help, because just to get into it, it's a big fucking leap. It's you admitting, okay, I need to work on myself. It takes a lot, and you become very invested in it. It took a lot to make that leap. You don't want to give it up. And you'll see it in this first one. There's a lot of resistance. When I say, what happens if you don't improve yourself? Stop improving yourself. You'll feel it.
So, the thing is, I'm actually 20 years old. I study, I train, I work. I'm trying to grind it really hard, but I have a problem.
You're the stereotype of the self-help junkie, which I like.
Thank you, flattering. The thing is, I kind of tend to fall into either one of two categories. The one where I really hustle hard, where I do all the shit I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like, I study, I train, I work my ass off, and it's really good, and I'm proud of myself. And the one where I'm basically just chilling, smoking weed and watching movies.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's the problem, I'm either there or there. Like, it annoys me. I want to be like...
Why does it annoy you?
How could I say it? On the one hand, I feel like I'm completely wasting my time. Like with the cherish mode, the chilling and that. On the other hand, with the hustle mode, I feel like I'm missing something.
What are you missing?
I don't know if you heard about it. Ikigai. The chilling, yeah. Ikigai.
Ikigai.
It's a Japanese word, really fast. It's basically the meaning of life, if you will. Basically the passion, vocation, mission, and profession in one, unified. And I want to find that.
What if you don't? What's so bad about not finding it?
Because I won't feel like...
What if I told you right now you'll never find it?
I won't believe it. I will find it one day, but I'm not sure when will I know that I found it.
Okay.
How will I know? Will I? Like, for example, I'm pretty sure you got yours, obviously.
Yeah, I'll dive into this. I like this. This is, by the way, what I love about you is you are literally the stereotype of the self-help. I like saying junkie, like self-help junkie. It's not bad. Like, you are literally doing more than 99.9% of people. Like, you're like, fuck yeah. It's like, here I am on my health, on my hustle, et cetera, et cetera. No, it's true. You are the pinnacle. Like, you're at the top of optimize your paradigm. However, as you kind of realized, you're not there. Yeah, sure. What I'd ask you, kind of get into this, is what happens if you don't hustle?
I feel like my potential is sitting somewhere in the basement and nobody's looking at it. It's kind of deteriorating, you get what I'm saying? My potential to do stuff, to hustle, to whatever.
Why is that bad?
Because I feel like I want to do the best out of it.
Why?
I want to get the best out of it.
You're still on the surface. You're justifying. You're like, well, I feel like, I won't be using it. Why? Because I feel like I want to be using it. No, go deeper. What's so bad if you don't use it? The universe is like, you'll never reach your potential.
Yeah.
What's so bad about that?
I'll be disappointed.
Why?
Like, I'll probably, if it happens to me, God no, but if it happens, I'll probably look up to, like, I don't know, my kind of voice of consciousness and say, like, what did you do with your life?
Why do you need to do something with your life?
Why do I need to do something? Because you only live once.
Yeah, but why do you need to do something?
Because I want to make the best out of it.
Yeah, but you're going in circles in. You got to go deeper. What ignites, like what fear, or again, what are you dreading about not doing it? Because that's the thing, like right now the frame you're coming from, and this is why this shit's so fucking nuanced and tough, is like, you're so used to, I must hustle, I must reach my potential. to get to that other paradigm, you got to do the complete opposite. So for you, it's like you're carrying a lot, and I'm like, what if you don't carry? Like, because you're hanging on to this carrying a lot. So that's what you got to ask yourself, what's the fear? Why do you need to carry a lot? What are you running away from? Because right now, by the way you're describing it, you're running away from something.
Mediocrity.
Yes, but why? Why?
Because it's
What is mediocrity to you?
the boring shit. I don't want to be in there.
Why?
Like, I want to shoot for the stars. You know?
Why? You keep going in circles. Why?
Because it makes me happy.
But why do you need to do that to be happy?
It's really difficult to explain.
No shit. That's why you got to go deep. Use this opportunity too, of the crowd like this, to like force yourself to go in introspection mode. Because this shit here, like, until you confront whatever it is you're fucking running away from, it's endless. It's similar to someone who's like, you know what? I need a relationship to be happy. That's the solution. Guess what? That's not a real fucking relationship. That's you hanging on to someone, and it's like this need. And there's always gonna be that paranoia. You're not actually viewing them as even as a human. You're viewing them as like, fill that void. I can't be left alone. I cannot be alone. No, it's like you should be completely fine alone. Completely fulfilled alone. What happens if you, never get a girlfriend? Most people are like, no, you should feel totally at ease. That doesn't mean don't get a girlfriend, but then you get the girlfriend from that space there. That's how you let go of like all that neediness and shit. For you, it's like you should hustle from, I don't need to do this, and then trust yourself, you'll be inspired. Versus, I'm running away. What are you running away from? And why is that so bad? It's like turning and facing that
To
shit.
be brutally honest, I mean, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna say it. Like, I don't want to disappoint my parents.
Okay.
Because they like expect me to make it great.
So we finally get a little deeper here. You know, after all this resistance where I'm like, why? You know, just keep pressing on it. Finally, it's, well, I don't want to disappoint my parents. I want my parents' approval, you know. And this can be extremely common, by the way, where if you have parents who have like perfectionist standards, like as a kid, it's like, you must be perfect, you must always get the best grades. It'll carry into your adulthood where you're still trying to be perfect. And if you're honest with yourself, it's you're trying to meet those, you know, perfectionist standards that your parents have. And you have to let go of that. You know, let go. Like, what happens if you don't meet them? What happens if you disappoint your parents? And then do the process.
Good. Now we're going deeper.
Has a PhD, my mom is a judge, like,
Yep.
he's judging me.
Okay. No, that's it. Yeah.
Basically, yeah, that's the thing. They
Okay.
have high expectations for me. And I have also for myself high expectations.
Okay.
That's the thing. I don't want to be stuck, like, in the middle. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, I'm maybe not, like, digging deeper what you mean to say, but...
We'll dig into it now. Say you disappoint them.
Yeah.
Picture that. Picture your worst fucking fear. Like you disappointing your parents, and it, like just the thing they really don't want, you do that. What emotions, thoughts, like what kicks in? Don't judge it. Don't give a story. Just what kicks in? How do you feel?
Kicks in. Like a sad movie. Something like that. It's, I don't know, the anxiety of, like, not having made it, you know?
How does it feel?
It's such an unpleasant feeling here in the heart, you know what I'm saying?
So that's really what he has to dive into. It's directing him to that. And then, of course, you can keep on going deeper and deeper and deeper. Let's get into another example.
Yeah.
Woo!
Dude. Let's go, man.
Thank you. This feels like really unreal. It's really good.
I know exactly.
Okay, you can hear my nervousness. And
Yeah.
I think it all comes from, I have like you know, the art of accomplishment. I think I can summarize it best from like watching, it was like one RSD motivation video. And it was like, it's like you have the gun to the head and I would rather die if I not succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that always go, 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 go.
Yeah, and it's like the same now, like, you know, if I don't like perform like to the top at the moment, you know, I won't.
If you embarrass yourself in front of this crowd.
Yeah, but it's not like the embarrassment because, I don't know, even though I feel like really, you know, like anxiety, nervous, I know, like, I mean, you know, safe hands.
Or are you?
I don't think it's anxiety.
Okay. What are you working on accomplishing right now?
Like school, relationship, like business, working out, like all type of, you know, the typical self-improvement areas. Always trying to maximize it.
Okay.
And I know it really comes from, you know, a lot of like scarcity. and I went through like a mini depression this spring, coming from like all this, and I got stuck in all these mental structures, and even being in like a cold shower 30 seconds or 1 minute longer than I planned, it just like I just downward spiraled like everything. And if I don't like make all my time boxes or going up in like the specific time, it all just spirals,
Okay. I like that. Very like, compulsive perfectionist.
Yeah.
So another self-help junkie here. And what's really interesting with this is when you're obsessed with improving and self-help is that you do start having your own best interests at heart. You do start becoming more healthy. Like here's a guy who's on top of his health, his diet, business, relationships. Like he's doing everything right, but it's still coming from the wrong place. It's still compulsive. It's that compulsive perfectionist. And he's aware of it. Most people are not. Most people are like just head buried in the sand, just continuously obsessive. However, he's like, hey, I realize it, and I realize that I have this compulsive need to do everything, and if I just miss one little thing, it's a downward spiral, And this will happen. You'll catch yourself. Like for me, I remember when I first started getting into health supplements, like vitamins. I'm like, you know what? Whoa, there's all these benefits I didn't know of, and I started with some basic ones. I'm like, you know what? Let's just get some vitamin D, some fish oil, a multi, and some probiotics. But then, slowly but surely, you kind of get sucked in, and you're like, well, now there's also this, now there's also this, now there's also this. And suddenly I had this huge fucking stack of vitamins, and if I just missed one, like one vitamin, like am I really going to notice a huge difference if one day I just miss one out of all of them? No. But in my mind, I'm like, fuck, the day is fucked. So you just keep adding more and more and more, and now there's like more to maintain, and if you just miss one, you're done. With self-help, you find out about it, and the more you get into it, it's like, well, I have to do this now, but I also have to do this, I have to do this, I have to have my time boxes, and this, and this, and this, and it just becomes too much, and then eventually you miss it, and it's like a downward spiral from there, okay? So it's the place it's coming from. Be careful not to use self-help as all these new reasons to beat yourself up and hate yourself because you're not living up to them. And again, he's at this peak of like optimize the paradigm. That's like a sign you're at the peak, by the way. And you're at a point here where you really have to let go of it.
And I'm like really aware of it. I'm trying to work on it all the time. Watching all the videos, like meditating a lot. But it's just from the scarcity because I'm meditating to accomplish something all the time.
Mm-hmm. And you're running away from you disapproving of yourself and beating yourself up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like this will happen like when you first find out about, for example, being meditating or being present to the moment or being in a higher state of consciousness. Every time you're not, you feel like shit. No, I'm not present to the moment. Or hey, be productive. What happens if you relax a bit, just watch a movie? I'm slacking off.
Yeah.
I had that when I actually first started touring. It was when I'd been touring a bit before, but I remember specifically there was this movie, The Avengers, the first one that ever came up. I was in Austin, Texas with Owen. And he's like, oh, it's pretty good. You seem a little wound up. Just go relax, watch a movie. And yet I was at the movie and I just couldn't enjoy it. I hated every fucking second of that movie because I'd be sitting there and I'm like, I'm wasting 2 hours where I could be productive. I could be productive. And you just like can't slow. It's like you're just hooked on it. So, the obvious question here is what happens if you just don't? Like what's so bad about not being perfect? What's so bad about waking up late? What's so bad about not being successful? What if right now everything you're trying to accomplish, you fail? What comes up? Like visualize it. Everything you're trying to accomplish, you just fail.
It just feels like I would live like a lesser life in the end.
Who would you disappoint?
I think myself, but also like the surrounding. I really want to live up to like all the society's expectations. And I don't know, like the Renaissance man or whatever,
Why?
Because you get this mental from the self-improvement conditioning, the optimal life is when you achieve all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. What if it's the opposite?
Yeah, I know it is the opposite, and that's the thing, But it's so hard to let go or whatever,
So this example here, again, he's aware of it. He knows it. He mentally, consciously knows it. However, what he needs to do here is actually do the fucking process. Consciously knowing about it is better than not knowing about it, but it won't really change shit. You need to dive into it, let it go, okay? Go through the experience, and of course, dive into your subconscious and let go of that. Until you do, nothing will change.
So for you, it's what I'd recommend doing, because I was very fucking similar. Like I was like, hustle 100%. Anyone who doesn't hustle, little fucking pussy, little bitch. You better hustle all the time. Shut the fuck up with your excuses, like boom, like that. And you know, another way we kind of rationalize this, by the way, is by taking on the pain and taking on the suffering and kind of viewing ourselves as like the martyr hero. I did that. Like I was traveling around, like same on my first tour when I was like workaholic, like I worked myself into the fucking ground. And I remember like, this is how obnoxious it was. I was lying in bed one morning in Montreal, and there's this clip from Breaking Bad where there's this one scene where he says, you know, I'm not in the, money business? I'm in the empire business, something like that. I was like, that's epic.
You asked me if I was in the meth business or the money business. Neither. I'm in the empire business.
I literally like was lying in bed for like 2 hours straight replaying those like 30 seconds. And I'm like, yes, I'll take the pain. I'll take the travel. I'll take the workload. I don't care. I'm the fucking, like, I'll take it because I'm the fucking hero in this. Like, I'm the martyr. I'm like Jesus on the cross type shit, you know? And it's very easy to take that. It's like, yeah, you're a perfectionist. Like for anyone who's like always workaholic or striving, it's like you kind of take pride in the fact you're torturing yourself and hustling. That's what gives you significance, you know? And then you feel like, oh, if I don't take the pain, then what am I? If I don't hustle, what am I? So it's kind of being aware of it, which you are. And what I'd say now is really reflecting on and just diving into whatever comes up when you ask yourself, like, what happens if I don't? If right now, like say tomorrow you wake up and I'm like, I'm assuming you go to the gym, right? I'm like, don't go to the gym. Don't go to the gym, eat this shitty food. Does guilt kick in? What kick? It's like, whatever sensations pop up, it's tuning into that. So give yourself a little challenge. Like next time you really feel like, oh, I need to do this, give yourself a challenge and simply don't do it. Now, not all the time, obviously. Like what you did here is like, you've really optimized that paradigm. You know, it's like you're working so hard towards optimizing that paradigm, and you want to give yourself a little couple glimpses of like, what happens if I don't? And it's not simply just not doing it, it's being aware of what comes up. Being aware of the different excuses, being aware of the different emotions, sensations, feelings, tune into that and start releasing them. Start breathing through them, similar to what we did here. Misery is the first teacher, don't let it be the last. You know, it's like you've used it probably like, oh, to get that jump start, but as you see now, it's very limiting and it's not sustainable in the long run. Like anyone who's like on this route of like, like obsessive like that, eventually will fucking crash.
Yeah, and it's really interesting, but because it wasn't really until I got together with my girlfriend, then I really noticed it, like, you know, because when you're living alone, it's like really easy to just, if you have like bad emotions or whatever, you just grab another book or just hustle even more.
Yeah.
But when you have like a girlfriend and she wants, you know, to watch a fucking movie or something, it's you don't really only affect yourself, but you affect her as well, and she can really feel your energies, and you know.
I like you brought that up. That's interesting.
It all comes to the surface because you can't really just suppress it with like another productivity tool or whatever.
Yeah. That just triggers something in me where I actually, so I was talking about that first tour I was doing this. Towards the end of that first tour, it wasn't a girl, but it was a guy. You know. He started traveling with me. My buddy does like a lot of marketing. And I remember specifically it was right after the Pimp launch. Any of you guys see Pimp? My product, yeah. So I launched Pimp and I was like through the ground to do that shit. It was insane. Like I'd be like running boot camp till like 3, sleeping till 6, like 3 hours and editing all. It was just horrible. But got that done. And we were in Miami. And Owen and I are both very just like hustle, like take action, hustle. And at the time we were like even more. You know, it's like now, I don't know if you've been aware of, we've been bringing a lot more of this art of enjoyment into our videos. Like it doesn't take away from the hustle. We hustle harder now than ever because it's coming from the right place. But at the time we were just like head down. And I remember my buddy saying, it's like, dude, let's take a night out, just fuck around. Let's take a night out, just go out and enjoy ourselves. And we'd go out, and even when going out, I'm like, well, let's go talk to girls, let's go. It's like, no, dude, like, let's even do a night where you just don't talk to girls and just fucking vibe, you know? And I was like, there's like, I must open, like that. And you see like girls walk by, it's like, I must open. It's like, no, dude, like, slow it down and enjoy it, you know? And then I'd be there, and I'm like thinking of the future, like, how long until I can do and open and hustle, like that. And he even said, he's like, dude, it's like, you're going so far down this hustle route that you're losing the ability to even connect with people around you. you know?
And this is huge. You know, the more of a perfectionist you are, you think you're going to be perfect, but in reality, you turn into this robot. You lose your humanity, if you will. You lose what makes you perfect. Trying to be perfect, by doing so, you lose what makes you perfect by default. You know, you think it's productive, you think it'll help, but in reality, you'll lose touch with who you are, you'll hate yourself, and you'll lose touch with people and the world around you. Okay, this is not the way. That's not how you get there.
And that's like advice for anyone who's like super workaholic, like head down hustle. It's like if you were actually just more aware of the people around you and more friendly and social, you'll realize you'll get way further ahead. Because by you having your head down with the hustle, you're cultivating this really like anxious, in a way, negative vibe that repels a lot of people. And your head's so far down that you're like blocking off all this opportunity, you know? So that's what I had. And he even said, like, you're losing touch with it. You know, it's like even, like, look at you, look at fucking Owen. It's like you're both moving down this direction. You know, Owen talked about it too. He went to a basketball game there and he just couldn't enjoy it. And Jeff told him, like, dude, enjoy the fucking game. You know, it's like, there's that like resistance around it. And a relationship will do the same thing. Like anyone who's like a workaholic hustle, you'll never have like those long relationships. You'll never be able to vibe. And it's this other skill here, like learning how to slow it down, learning how to connect, learning that, hey, it's okay. It's like, you don't have to put all that pressure on yourself. You don't have to be so goal-driven, so goal-oriented, so outcome all the time. It's fine. That's like the hardest part. So that's what I'd kind of like bring my awareness to. It's like, sit down and just ask yourself, you know, next time, like give yourself a little challenge, like, I really need to do this. No. Okay, just not. See what happens. You know, schedule in like some time where you just fuck around. See what comes up. Trust me, man, it's like once you kind of drop this and inspiration kicks in, it's like, it's awesome. You know, and it's like, and it's authentic too. It's like, you'll also know like sometimes, you know, it's like you'll be inspired to take action and then you will. And sometimes you just won't. You'll be like, oh, it's totally fine. But it's like you no longer have to like always force yourself and always be paranoid because you're living in the state of paranoia, you know. But then also being honest with yourself and being careful with this one to not follow the opposite route where now you're like, oh no, I need to make myself relax. And that's like rationalization. And then you're slacking off. But you can always just look at how you feel because like you'll always be honest with yourself like emotionally or like gun to the head. It's like, you know, is it a rationalization? Like, if you're authentically, like you're inspired to relax, you'll feel good about it until you go a little too far and then you start feeling bad about it. It's like if you say a joke, the first time it feels very authentic and fun, you can still say it a few times, but after a while it kind of switches. There's that shift where now it's like, try hard, it's coming from a different place. It'll be the same thing here.
And this last point here is big, okay? It's like you have to let go of that resistance to not doing, but you also have to let go of the resistance to doing when that inspiration kicks in. And this is what happens with people who procrastinate. You know, it's like they feel that inspiration kick in to do something, but then they resist it. So let go of that and then let go of the need to always be doing. Just follow inspiration and be in this total state of non-resistance externally, but also internally.